you. So when it comes to holiday parties, most of us know how to be a good host or a polite guest, right? But what about navigating potentially awkward scenarios like, I don't know, trying to get stubborn guests to leave at the end of the night? Etiquette expert Karen Cleveland is here to get real with us about the do's and the don'ts of hosting and attending holiday parties. Oh my gosh, we are in the throes of it right now. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's start up. We're gonna hit it right out of the gate. Party says it starts at 7. What is an appropriate time to show up?
I think the move is 5-10 minutes after that.
Oh, that close?
So 7:10, yeah, fashionably late. Because if you're hosting, those 5 or 10 minutes are gold. That's when you can put your music on, wipe your countertop, put on your lipstick, whatever you need to do before the rest of your guests arrive.
So when I arrive at 8 o'clock, that's too late?
I think that's too late.
It's too late.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a drop-in thing, if it's a dinner.
Yes, different.
You know, it depends on the time of the day.
Yeah.
But I think if you know there's going to be a seated meal, 5-10 minutes is, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Grace time.
Okay, is it necessary for guests to bring a host gift with them? And if so, what's appropriate?
It's a really nice touch, and I know that might sound a bit dated and a little traditional, but I think it's a really great gesture to arrive with something for your host. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be a nice candle, or of course, like a nice bottle of wine. Don't be offended if your host doesn't serve your wine. They might have their wine pairings all sorted out, but it's all in just the gesture of what you bring. Mm-hmm. The one thing to consider is you don't want to bring anything that's gonna give your host grief. So if you show up with a huge armload of beautiful, fresh cut flowers that they have to then arrange in a vase,
right?
Or you show up with a dish that they have to scramble to find space in their oven. So just be mindful of what your gift is going to impose on you.
You know what? Somebody we were talking about in our meeting the other day was that some people, when you show up with food in a container, that you are supposed to return that container to that person with food in it, like brownies or something that you made. Have you ever heard this?
I haven't. I mean, I kind of love that.
You
but
do?
That's really extra. I mean, I like it. Like if I send someone home with something, then I get mine back filled.
With stuff within it. I've just never...
I've never heard that.
I'm going to have you just move your hair off your mic a little bit.
Course, yeah,
no worries. Okay, so let's move on to a guest has arrived at your house.
Yes.
And they are not taking their shoes off. What do you do? What do you say? Do you say anything?
Okay, so I think it starts before your guests arrive.
Okay.
And it's all of those subtle cues and those visual signals and recognizing we're all a little bit rusty, right? We haven't gone to a lot of parties in a couple years, so just take it easy on ourselves, take it easy on each other. So before your party starts, keep a couple shoes at the front door. So when your guests come in, they're like, oh, shoes, I'll take mine off. But if someone still keeps their shoes on, if it's really important to you, pull them aside very discreetly and have a private conversation. Don't single anyone out. Don't make them feel embarrassed. It's all in a really subtle touch.
If you're going to a party, though, should you expect to take off your shoes? Can you bring shoes with you, like your indoor shoes, like you're in kindergarten?
Yeah, I mean, you could, but look at your host. And then as soon as you walk in the door, if their shoes are on, then that's sort of a signal that that's okay. If their shoes are off, your shoes aren't going on.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, what if somebody messages you and says, hey, can I bring a friend to the party? What do you do?
You scream into a pillow and then you respond, of course.
You have to say yes?
I think so. I think the move is to be gracious, always, even if it's difficult. You, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Especially after the awful couple years we've all had, you make it happen.
You make it happen. Okay, that's good to know. What if people are not leaving your house and you're throwing the party and you're like, okay, let's go, it's time to go. How do you get them to leave?
I think we can expect a bit of that this year. There's a real pent up, like, all of our social skills have totally atrophied. Yeah. So a great tip that I picked up years ago is you enlist the friend who's social, who's chatty, and you get that friend to sort of plant a seed at a certain time of the night. Oh, look how late it is. We should all wrap up. And then they can sort of rally everyone and maybe move the party elsewhere. Let's go for a drink down the road, or everyone come back to my place, but you get this friend to say that on your behalf.
Can you ghost your own party?
No.
Which is what I plan to do.
Which I
Like, this is how I get people to leave. I just leave. I go upstairs, and then they look around, and I'm not there, and they're like, oh, maybe we should go.
Maybe we should. I mean, I think a lot of it is in those tacit signs, right? Like, if you want people to leave your house, stop doing hosty things. Like, stop bringing out more food. Stop.
You know what? You start to do the dishes, Karen, right?
Yeah.
Start doing the dishes, and then people will hopefully leave and actually grab the cup that's in their hand and start doing that dish.
Take it away from them.
Take the drinks away. So we don't do that?
You don't do that.
You know
yeah,
that I'm
it's all
going
a
to be
little bit more subtle. Yeah, but I would love to see that. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah, I will. All right, Karen, great tips. Thank you so much. Great to have you in studio.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to see you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.